You're standing in the ruins, heart shattered, mind in chaos, betrayed, ghosted, forgotten, and all you want to do is react, scream, chase, beg, destroy, make them feel your pain. But that's what weak men do. Weak men burn in the fire. Stoic men become the fire. You've spent your life being pulled by emotions like a puppet, yanked by heartbreak, triggered by disrespect, crushed by failure. And every time, you reacted. You handed your power away like it was nothing, but not anymore. Not after this. This is the moment when boys break, or men become steel. Picture this. A statue of a warrior. Rain slamming his skin, thunder roaring above. But he doesn't flinch. Eyes closed, breath steady, silent, unshaken, unconquered. That's who you're going to become. Because a man who reacts is a slave to the world. But a man who observes in silence is a weapon sharpened by restraint. You've lived long enough in reaction. Now it's time to observe, to endure, to win. If you're done reacting like every other broken man out there, then drop your first act of discipline right now. Comment below. I choose silence over reaction. I choose power. Let it be your vow, your contract with your future self. And if you're ready to kill weakness, to rebuild in silence, to become untouchable, subscribe. Because every week this channel will tear through your excuses, break the chains of comfort, and hammer your mind into cold, sharpened steel, not with fluff, not with fake motivation, but with war-tested, stoic fire. No more soft talk, no more waiting, no more whining. You want to rise. Then commit now, comment, subscribe. Lock in. You've been asleep long enough. Now, wake up and become the weapon. Look around you. Modern men are drowning. Not in war, not in famine, but in distraction, dopamine, and emotional chaos. You can't sit still. You react to texts like a dog chasing a whistle. One insult ruins your day. One woman leaves, and your entire identity collapses. One failure, and you spiral for weeks. You've become a reactor, not a creator. You've become soft, scattered, slave to your feelings. And every time you react, you bleed power. You think strength is rage. It's not. You think silence is weakness. It's not. You think being loud, visible, and emotional makes you real. It doesn't. It makes you predictable, controllable. The truth is brutal. Every time you react without discipline, you lose the war before it begins. Let that burn into you. Because here's the Stoic reality. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius, that's your weapon. Not your fists, not your words, not your followers. Your weapon is control. Control of your mind. Control of your emotions. Control of your silence. That's what separates the weak from the unbreakable. This isn't just about heartbreak. This isn't just about anger. This is about who you are when the world pushes you to the edge. Do you scream? Do you panic? Do you react or do you observe? Do you breathe? Do you wait in the shadows, sharpening yourself while the world falls apart? That's what this video is. Not a motivational speech, not a feel-good talk. A blueprint for the man who's ready to bury his past reactions and rise as a stoic weapon. No more chasing, no more begging. No more explaining yourself to people who don't even know who they are. From this moment on, you are the observer, not the reactor. You don't chase chaos. You let it crash against you and stand still like stone. Every section of this video will rip through the noise you've been trapped in. The lies, the impulses, the weakness, and it'll replace them with the code of warriors like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. This is the fire that burns away everything fake. This is the storm that reveals what you're made of. You want to be unbreakable? Then watch closely. Stay silent. And remember, weak men react. Stoic men observe and win. You don't even realize it. You're leaking power every single day, every scroll, every text, every look you give when someone disrespects you. Your reactions are ruining you. You've been trained like a dog. Ring the bell, you drool. Tap the screen, you respond. She leaves you on scene, your mind spirals. Someone insults you. You lash out. You lose a little money. You panic. You get ghosted. You beg for closure. This is the trap. And most men will die in it. The reaction trap is simple. You believe you're in control, but your emotions run the show. And the worst part? You think it makes you strong to fight back. You think snapping, yelling, proving yourself means you're a man. It doesn't. It means you're owned. Owned by triggers. Owned by trauma. Owned by people who know exactly which buttons to press to make you dance. Let me be blunt. If your mood can be controlled by someone else's words, you are not a man. You are a puppet. The world has made you soft on purpose. They want you soft. They want you reactive. They want you addicted to validation, to drama, to meaningless emotions. Every app is designed to trigger you. Every feed is designed to distract you. Every message is bait to make you react instantly. They don't want you to think. They don't want you to pause. Because a man who pauses is dangerous. A man who observes is a threat to the system. So, they teach you, talk more, feel more, share everything, react to everything, and the result, you are overstimulated, emotionally fragile, impulsive, and weak. A stoic man is the opposite. He hears, but doesn't respond. He sees, but doesn't flinch. He feels, but doesn't show it until he chooses to, because he's not ruled by the storm. He is the storm. He who angers you conquers you. Epictetus, think about that. How many times have you let anger destroy your day? You hear something disrespectful, and instead of thinking like a man, you explode like a child. And for what? To prove a point? To protect your ego? To get revenge? That's not strength. That's slavery. Every time you react without control and someone else wins, they've conquered your emotions. They've stolen your discipline. They've ripped your purpose right out of your chest. You think they're your enemies? No. You are. You gave them access. You let them into your mind. You offered your soul on a plate and called it love, loyalty, passion, whatever makes you sleep at night. But deep down, you know, you're just afraid to sit with the silence. So you react, because reacting is easier than rebuilding, easier than owning your part, easier than rising above it. But listen carefully. Easy is where weak men die. The fire inside you is not for reacting, it's for rebuilding. You have a fire. You feel it. That rage, that ache, that deep hunger to prove something, to fight back. But right now you're wasting it. You're burning it in arguments that don't matter. You're wasting it on people who don't deserve your energy. You're leaking fire on things that make you less of a man. That fire isn't for reactivity. It's for rebirth. A real man doesn't burn down the world to feel better. He uses the flames to forge himself. Steel isn't made by sparks. It's made in a silent, brutal fire. That's your job now. To take all the chaos and contain it. To take the fury and then discipline it. To take the heartbreak and then turn it into hunger. You are not here to react. You are here to rise. When you react, you lose strategy. Here's the truth they never told you. Every reaction is a reveal. Every emotional response gives the enemy your blueprint. You get angry when she pulls away. She knows she owns your peace. You panic when your plan fails. The world knows you have no patience. You argue when you're disrespected. They know your ego is more important than your mission. A man who reacts is a man exposed. You've been giving away your strategy, your leverage, your aura, for nothing. A Stoic, he reveals nothing. He watches. He studies. He holds the line. You don't know what he's thinking. Because his face is stone, you don't know what he's planning. Because his moves are silent. You can scream at him. Betray him. Walk away from him. He will not react. He will observe. And when the time comes, he will strike. Once. Clean. Precise. Because that's how weapons move, not with noise, with purpose. Your emotions are real, but they aren't your master. Let's make something clear. Stoicism is not about becoming numb. You are allowed to feel. You are meant to feel, but you're not supposed to be ruled by it. Feel the pain, feel the rage, feel the betrayal, but don't act on it. Not until you've owned it. Not until you've processed it. Not until you've turned it into fuel. Weak men act out what they feel. Strong men convert it. Every heartbreak, add a layer to your armor. Every betrayal, sharpen your vision. Every loss, deepen your discipline. Your emotions are not an excuse, they're a signal. Stoic listens to those signals, but never lets them control his actions. He builds emotional muscle, not emotional explosions. How to escape the reaction trap. Starting now. Pause before every action. Someone triggers you. Pause. 5 seconds. 10. Breathe. The gap between stimulus and response is where power is born. Silence is your shield. Don't explain yourself. Don't justify your pain. Don't seek closure from people who gave you chaos. Let your silence speak. Journal your emotions, don't perform them. You feel rage? Write it down. You feel broken? Bleed it onto paper, not onto people. Master your internal world so the external world can't touch you. Observe patterns. Not. People stop reacting to faces and names. Start noticing patterns. The same situations will keep repeating until you rise above reaction and start strategizing. Delay revenge. Build power. Instead, you want to get even? Don't. Get stronger. Let time make you untouchable. Let silence make them wonder. You were not born to be a slave to your triggers. This world is brutal. It doesn't care about your feelings. It rewards control. It respects power. And it fears men who don't react. You were not born to cry over screens. You were not born to chase people who don't see your value. You were not born to explain yourself to cowards. You were born to build a kingdom inside your soul, one no one can shake. So take a hard look at your life. Where are you leaking power? Where are you reacting when you should be observing? Where are you speaking when you should be silent? Because until you answer that, you'll keep repeating the same emotional cycles. You'll keep sabotaging your peace. You'll keep betraying your mission. You'll keep feeding your weakness. But the moment you observe, the moment you pause, the moment you choose stillness over chaos, that's when the shift begins. That's when you become untouchable. That's when you become stoic. Final strike. Recognize the trap and walk away. You've been taught to react your entire life, to prove something, to fight everyone, to scream your worth. But now, you see the trap, and that alone puts you ahead of 95% of men, because the man who sees the game stops playing it. From today onward, make this your code. I don't react. I observe, I absorb, I evolve. Let the weak run their mouths. Let the emotional break down. Let the distracted chase shadows. You walk forward, silent, calm, cold, unshaken. Because weak men react. But you, brother, you observe and win. You've been taught to speak, to always have an opinion, to always respond, to always explain yourself. But what if I told you your greatest strength as a man is not in your voice, but in your vision, not in saying something, but in seeing everything? Stoic men don't react. They observe, like a god on the mountain, looking down calm still, all-seeing, unbothered by the noise of men. That's the energy you need now, because if you want to stop getting played, used, triggered, and manipulated, you must become the watcher, the quiet one, the still one, the dangerous one. Modern men are drowning in distraction. You live in a world of endless noise, opinions, notifications, reels, headlines, constant motion, constant input, constant reaction. You wake up, and the war begins. Before you even brush your teeth, your brain is under attack, and every time you look outward, you weaken your ability to look inward. You lose yourself. Most men can't go 5 minutes without stimulation. They can't walk in silence. They can't sit alone. They can't stand in line without checking their phones. They've become addicts, not to drugs but to reaction. They don't see, they scan, they don't think, they scroll, they don't observe reality, where they drown in distraction, and you wonder why you feel lost? It's because you've never truly watched your own life unfold. You've been in it, but not above it. Stoicism demands elevation. The Stoics believed that clarity begins with distance. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Epictetus, too. Embody it, you must step outside yourself. You must rise above emotion, above impulse, above noise. You must become detached. Not because you don't care, but because you care too much to be fooled. You detach from the situation so you can understand it. You observe people not through judgment, but through pattern. You watch your thoughts not to shame them, but to shape them. This is not apathy. This is precision. You don't speak unless your words move you forward. You don't respond unless your action brings results. You don't feel unless you've earned the right to command your emotions. That's the level. That's the standard. That's what Stoic men do. They rise above the battlefield before they enter it. Stand upright, speak thy judgment boldly, and submit to the gods. Marcus Aurelius. There is power in rising above your instincts. There is power in not being consumed by every urge, every insult, every temptation. When Marcus Aurelius wrote that line, he wasn't preaching passivity. He was preaching poise. He was telling you to stand like a warrior, rooted in reason, unmoved by the tides of fortune. You want to be powerful? Then learn to see the game without getting played by it. Observe how people speak when they want something, how women test men to measure their strength, how distractions seek to control your time, how your mind betrays you when you chase comfort. If you don't see it, you'll react. If you do see it, you'll rule. This is your wake-up call. Be the one who sees through the illusion. Emotional detachment is not weakness, it's wisdom. Let's kill the lie right now. Detachment does not mean cold-hearted. It means clear-minded. Weak men get offended. Weak men get flustered. Weak men rush to reply, to explain, to please. Strong men detach. They take a step back. They analyze. They listen twice before they speak once. They guard their energy like it's gold, because it is. You've been told that real men are emotional. Wrong. Real men are disciplined with their emotions. They don't let their feelings drive the car. They put feelings in the back seat and logic behind the wheel. When you observe instead of react, you can sense manipulation before it hooks you. See lies without needing confrontation. Feel pain without losing your path. That's not numbness. That's mastery. Your silence makes you dangerous. You want to know what really intimidates people? Silence, not sarcasm, not anger. Silence, it makes them question everything. Why isn't he responding? Why didn't he chase me? Why didn't he argue? It shakes them. It exposes them. Because silence forces the world to sit with itself. And most can't. That's why your silence is a weapon. It holds your power. It commands respect. It creates space for real thought to rise. So next time someone tries to provoke you, and don't react, just watch, breathe. Let them reveal themselves. The more you observe, the more they expose. The less you say, the more you control. That's why Stoic men are feared. They know things you haven't said. They see things you haven't noticed. They train their awareness like a weapon. Becoming the observer. Step by step, so how do you shift? How do you stop reacting and start observing? Like a god? It's a practice forged in fire, silence, and brutal self-honesty. Let's break it down. Sit in stillness daily, at least 10 to 15 minutes. No music, no phone. Just you and your thoughts. Let the chaos rise, and watch it. Observe your thoughts, like clouds drifting in, drifting out. Don't fight them, don't engage, just witness. This rewires your brain for clarity. Journal without filter. Write what you see, not what you want to see. What's real? What triggers you? What lies do you tell yourself? What patterns are killing your peace? Truth is the beginning of vision. Control your input. Cut junk content. Mute weak voices. Limit stimuli that demand reaction. Build an environment of stillness, so your mind can sharpen in silence. Master breathing under pressure. 1 deep breath intention. 1 second closer to power. Your body is your control panel. If you can master breath under fire, you can master yourself. Listen twice, speak once. Or not at all. Most conversations don't require your opinion. Most arguments don't deserve your words. Observe first. Speak only when it shifts the outcome. Study human behavior like warfare. Read people. Watch tone, eyes, patterns. Don't assume, analyze. People are predictable once you observe them, in silence. Your life depends on how well you can watch. This isn't some spiritual hobby. This is survival. You want to succeed in relationships, business, life? You better learn to watch the room before you move in it. You better learn to sense danger before it explodes. You better learn to see the setup before it traps you. Because in this world, if you can't observe, you get deceived. If you can't observe, you get betrayed. If you can't observe, you get destroyed. The man who observes wins, not always today, not always tomorrow, but in the long run, he owns the game. See everything, feel nothing, win silently. Let's end this chapter with one truth. You don't need to speak. You don't need to explain. You don't need to perform. You need to see, and when you see clearly, you move differently. Your steps are precise. Your words are minimal. Your presence is unshakable. They won't understand it. Good. Let them guess. Let them wonder. Let them feel your silence more than they ever felt your words, because from this day forward, you are not the reactor. You are the observer. You are the still eye of the storm. You are the cold gaze in a room full of noise. You are the man no one can read, because you've already read everything. Now breathe deep. Watch everything, and move. Only when it matters. Every time you open your mouth without purpose, you leak power. Every time you explain yourself to someone who doesn't deserve your truth, you lose mystery. Every time you talk too much, you give the world a weapon. You think words make you powerful? No. Silence does. Not passive silence, not awkward silence. Stoic silence. That cold, unshaken, calculating quiet. The silence that commands. The silence that unsettles. The silence that makes people lean in, lower their voices, respect your presence. You want to become untouchable? You want to dominate your space? Then shut your mouth and learn to speak only when it echoes like thunder. Men who talk too much are easy to kill. Let me make this brutal. Talk too much, and people will use your words against you. You show too many feelings. They'll know where to hit. You explain your vision, they'll steal it. You reveal your weakness, they'll exploit it. You justify your pain, they'll judge it. Every unnecessary word is a crack in your armor. Every overshare is a map to your downfall. Why do you think real warriors barely speak? Because they know the battlefield doesn't reward noise. It rewards presence. A lion doesn't roar when it stalks. It walks, slow, silent, focused, and when it moves, the world stops. That's who you must become. You don't need to be loud. You need to be lethal. Silence is a lesson learned through life's many sufferings, and Seneca. Men learn silence the hard way. When you've been betrayed, when you've been laughed at for being vulnerable, when you've been left after opening your soul, you learn. You learn that not everyone deserves your truth. You learn that your emotions are sacred, not entertainment. You learn that power isn't in being heard. Power is in being unshaken even when you're silent. That's what Seneca meant. Silence is a lesson paid in pain. And once you learn it, you never unlearn it. The masculine presence is built in. Quiet look around. Men today are loud, desperate, theatrical, trying to prove themselves through noise, style, sarcasm. But real presence? It comes from stillness. It comes from not needing to fill the space. You want to dominate a room? Walk in with, "Your back straight, say nothing, look once us calmly directly." Let your silence say what your mouth never needs to. I don't need to be noticed, you'll notice me anyway. That's presence. That's power. That's stoic masculinity. And the louder they get, the quieter you become. Because the man, who doesn't beg to be seen, is seen the most. Silence protects your mind. Your mind is a fortress. But every time you speak without control, you open the gate. People don't need to know your next move. They don't need to know your thoughts. They don't even need to know your feelings. They need to feel your control. When you speak less, something strange happens. You listen better. You observe more. You gain ground mentally, while others lose. Because silence clears the fog. It pulls you out of reactivity. It anchors you in awareness. And once you're aware, you stop playing the game. You control it. The most respected men in history were men of few words. Think of the great generals, the emperors, the philosophers, the assassins, the kings. They didn't waste words. They didn't talk about what they would do. They did it, and let the results echo louder than any speech ever could. You don't need to be known. You need to be effective. You don't need to be liked. You need to be respected. And if not respected, feared. That starts with restraint. Your silence must become a signature. When you speak, speak with purpose. Now let's be clear. Silence doesn't mean you never talk. It means you don't talk unless your words have weight. You speak when your words cut like blades, when your silence has already done the damage, when you choose to break the silence with precision. You don't rant. You declare. You don't argue. You conclude. You don't react. You reveal truth when it serves your strategy. Every word is a move, not a moment. That's stoic communication. How to build your silence. The daily practice. Here's how to make this real. Stop explaining yourself. You don't need to justify your actions to people who aren't part of your mission. If they don't get it, let them stay confused. If they don't support you, let them watch you succeed in silence. Explaining is begging for approval. Cut it. Cut useless. Small talk. If it doesn't serve your vision, build your network, or challenge your mind, don't say it. Silence is better than forced conversation. Most men talk because they're afraid of being forgotten. Real men don't care. Practice 60 seconds of silent eye. Contact once a day. In any situation, make eye contact with someone and say nothing. Hold it. Observe them squirm. Watch what your silence reveals. The world is afraid of stillness. That's why you must master it. Meditate in total quiet, no music, no affirmations, just you and silence. Let your mind scream. Let the noise rise. Don't run from it. Face it. That's where inner dominance is built. Fast from words. Weekly, 1 day a week. Speak only when absolutely required. Not a game, a discipline. Let the world run its mouth. You walk in stillness. Silence in conflict. Is pure power. Next time someone disrespects you, don't argue. Look them in the eye. Say nothing. Let the silence burn louder than any comeback ever could. That pause, that unshaken gaze, that still posture. It'll say one thing. I'm not affected by you. I own myself. That's power. Because the man who stays calm when insulted, the man who stays quiet when challenged, that man is unpredictable, and unpredictable men are feared. Building a reputation through quiet dominance. You want to know what builds legacy? Not posting everything you do, not arguing with critics, not talking about your goals, executing them in silence, winning when no one's watching, rising when everyone counted you out, and saying nothing when you do. Your silence should haunt people. They should wonder what you're thinking. They should fear what you might do next, because when your moves are loud, they can block you. When your silence is loud, they can't touch you. You are not a court jester. You are a king. Stop performing. Stop explaining. Stop leaking your power through every sentence. You are not here to be understood by the weak. You are here to lead yourself with brutal discipline. Kings don't shout in every room. They don't chase attention. They command it, through quiet excellence, presence, and posture. So speak less. Move sharper. Feel deeper. In silence. Let the world make noise. You keep your silence, like a blade sheathed behind your back. Final. Strike your new law. This is your code now. I do not speak to be heard. I speak to direct. I do not react to be seen. I observe to gain control. I do not fill space. I own it. You were raised in a world that taught you to express. Now, unlearn that. Express less. Execute more. And let silence become your strongest sentence. You are not just another voice. You are a storm behind stillness. Let them talk. You're building dominance. In silence. Pain. The one thing every man fears. But the one thing every great man needs. You've been lied to. They told you pain is a sign to stop, a curse, a punishment, a red light flashing in your soul. But the Stoics knew better. Pain isn't a signal to quit. It's a signal to transform. The fire wasn't sent to destroy you. It was sent to forge you. What you're feeling right now, the ache, the heartbreak, the humiliation, the regret, it's not the end, it's the beginning. If you use it right, this pain will become your power. Most men run from pain, and that's why they stay weak. The average man gets hurt and shuts down. He numbs it with distractions. He buries it in women and dopamine and alcohol and cheap pleasures. He says, I just need to forget. I just want to move on. No. You don't move on from pain. You go through it. And if you're brave enough, you turn it into fuel, because pain ignored becomes poison, but pain faced becomes purpose. The Stoics didn't run from suffering. They welcomed it. They sat in it. They dissected it. And they used it to grow sharper, harder, wiser. A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. Seneca, the life you want, the discipline, the peace, the unbreakable mind, it's on the other side of that fire you keep avoiding. Every scar is a lesson engraved in your body. You've been through things. You've cried in silence. You've stared at ceilings at 3 a.m., wondering why it all fell apart. You've trusted people who shattered you. You've given love that was thrown away, and it hardened you. Good. Because those scars, they're not weaknesses, they're writings. Proof that you survived, proof that you learned. But survival isn't enough. You're not meant to just survive pain. You're meant to turn it into your edge. You're meant to walk into a room and carry every wound with silence and not shame. And when people see you, they feel something they can't describe. That's the power of a man who tamed his pain. Rejection, loss, failure. Use them all. She left you? Good. Let that sting sharpen your focus. You lost your job. Good. Let that pressure build your hunger. You failed again. Good. Let that failure carve out discipline. You feel like no one sees your worth. Good. Let that silence become your sanctuary. Everything they took from you. Everything life did to you. Everything that broke your heart. You owe it nothing. But you owe yourself everything. You owe yourself the rebirth. The Stoic alchemy. Turning suffering into strength, the Stoics practiced emotional transmutation. They took grief and turned it into wisdom. They took loss and turned it into clarity. They took fear and turned it into action, and they did it by facing the storm, not avoiding it. They asked one question: what can I control in this pain? Not, why did this happen? Not, when will it stop? But, how can I use it? That's the formula. Feel it fully. Stop pretending it doesn't hurt. Let it break you, temporarily. Write it ruthlessly. Journal every detail, every betrayal, every failure. Get it out of your system and into your strategy. Train while it burns. Go to the gym. Take the walk. Build something. Pain is the best pre-workout. Use it, detach and analyze. What did this moment teach you? What patterns did you ignore? What boundaries were missing? Apply without emotion. Take the lesson, leave the wound. Use what you learned to sharpen your path. This is the Stoic way. You don't just survive pain, you evolve because of it. Stop waiting for closure. Build closure through conquest. You're not going to get an apology. You're not going to get validation. You're not going to get closure. You want closure? Win in silence. Succeed in silence. Let your peace destroy their memory of you. The world remembers two kinds of men: the one who begged after heartbreak, and the one who disappeared and came back stronger than anyone imagined. Be the second. Turn the pain into results. Make them feel your absence more than they ever felt your presence. Not out of vengeance, but out of unapologetic growth. The things that trouble you depend only on your opinion. Marcus Aurelius, this pain isn't physical, it's perception. You think your heartbreak is unbearable? Then it is. You think your failure defines you? Then it will. You think your past is too heavy? Then it will crush you. But the moment you shift your perception, the pain changes shape. You see the lesson. You see the gift. You see the opportunity to become a different man. It's not about erasing the pain. It's about reframing it. Instead of, I was hurt, you say, I was hardened. Instead of, I lost, you say, I was redirected. Instead of, I was betrayed, you say, I was refined. This is how Stoics win. You were built to suffer. Well, life isn't fair. It was never supposed to be. You will be broken. You will be tested. You will be alone in moments where no one comes to save you. But that's where you earn your power. That's where you forge your discipline. That's where you build a version of yourself so solid, even pain starts to fear you. You weren't made for comfort. You were made for pressure. And the more pressure you can carry, without reacting, without complaining, without breaking, the more power you build in silence. Because the world respects one kind of man above all, the man who endured hell and didn't lose his soul. From fire to fortress, your step-by-step system. Let's simplify this into a process you can use every time pain hits. Sit with the fire, don't numb it, don't escape it. Sit down, feel everything. Cry if you have to, but don't speak. Let your emotions rise like smoke and watch them. Extract the lesson. What did this pain reveal? Where were you weak? Where were you blind? What did you tolerate that you shouldn't have? Write, analyze, accept. Cut emotion. From action, don't reach out, don't lash out, don't post about it, don't explain yourself. Let your discipline speak louder than your emotion. Use the energy in training. Pain creates fire. Fire creates momentum. Move your body. Build your craft. Channel the chaos into calculated effort. Create a personal philosophy. From the pain, write one sentence that will define you moving forward. Example: I am the man who turns heartbreak into hunger. I use betrayal as a mirror, not a wound. I do not run from fire and I walk through it. This is your code. Final strike. You are the alchemist. Now your pain is not a punishment. It's an invitation to rise, to sharpen, to lead yourself out of weakness and into unshakable discipline. You're not a victim. You're a student of suffering, and every bruise, every scar, every tear, it's shaping you. Let them call you cold. Let them say you changed. Let them wonder why you disappeared, because they'll never understand you weren't healing, you were forging. You were building a fortress out of fire, and now you don't carry pain. You wear it as armor. You feel tired, unmotivated, lost in chaos. You start something and quit. You promise change and fall back into the same trap. You have dreams, but no discipline to bring them to life. You're ruled by emotion, and that's why you're weak. Let me tell you the truth. Your emotions are the enemy. Your discipline is your God. The world will break every man who lives by how he feels, but it can't touch the one who moves by code. You want strength? You want peace? You want to walk through fire with a straight back and cold eyes? Then burn the false religion of emotion and worship the path of discipline. Emotion is chaos. Discipline is order. Look at your life. Where there is suffering, there is usually a pattern. You felt tired, so you skipped the workout. You felt sad, so you texted her again. You felt bored, so you scrolled for hours. You felt discouraged, so you gave up. Every time you obey your emotions, you betray your greatness. You want to know why your life feels out of control? Because you've given your feelings the throne, when that throne was meant for your will. Discipline is order. Emotion is storm. A man cannot build his empire in a storm. He builds it with structure, with systems, with stone-cold consistency. Waste. No more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius, no more talking. No more hoping. No more waiting for motivation. Be it. Do it. Live it. You want to know the difference between weak men and strong men. Weak men feel. Strong men follow a code. The code doesn't change when they're tired. It doesn't vanish when they're sad. It doesn't break when they fail. The code remains, and a man who lives by code is bulletproof. You don't need another goal. You need standards. You don't need another reason. You need rules. You don't need another feeling. You need discipline. Discipline is your savior in every storm. Your girl leaves. Your business crashes. Your friends disappear. You feel like giving up. But what saves you? Not your heart, not your emotions, not your thoughts, your habits, your structure, your discipline. Because when the fire hits, only the disciplined survive. That's what Stoicism is about. Not smiling through suffering, but staring it in the face and doing your work anyway. You want to rebuild your life? You want to rise? Then discipline is your only way out. Stop seeking motivation. Start respecting routine. Motivation is a scam. It comes when it wants. It disappears when you need it. But discipline is loyal. It shows up even when you're broken. It works even when you're empty. It delivers even when you're doubted. You want to separate yourself from every weak man around you? Do what needs to be done, especially when you don't feel like it. Because every rep, every routine, every act of consistency when you're tired, that's where your new self is built. You do not rise to your goals. You fall to your habits. Me be clear. Your vision means nothing if your daily actions are trash. You can write affirmations all day. You can dream about becoming great. You can pray for strength. But if your habits are built on comfort, pleasure, and emotion, you will fail. Greatness isn't built in dreams. It's built in discipline. The early mornings, the silent reps, the meals you don't want to eat, the screens you say no to, the temptation you ignore. Every time you say no to weakness, you say yes to the warrior inside you. Cold, logical, ruthless with self. That's who you become. Not soft, not in tune with feelings, not emotional about failure, but cold, logical, ruthless with yourself. Not because you hate yourself, but because you respect your potential too much to live like a slave to emotion. You look in the mirror and say, I don't need to feel ready. I don't need to feel inspired. I don't need to feel anything. I do it because it must be done. That's your new identity. That's Stoic masculinity. Discipline laws for the modern Stoic. Burn these into your code. Live by them. Die by them. You wake up when the world sleeps. No more snoozing. No more dragging your feet. Early hours. Spiritual dominance. You train daily. No excuses. Sick, tired, heartbroken. Good. Train harder. You master what enters your mind. Control. Your input. Books count reels. Silence, noise. You never speak about what you haven't earned. Don't talk. Build. Don't flex. Execute. You reject instant pleasure. No porn. No junk food. No quick dopamine. Long-term pleasure only. You journal like a general. Track your patterns, your failures, your mental wars. Own them. You sleep like a warrior preparing for battle. Quality rest. Clean habits. No scrolling in bed. Discipline doesn't end at night. You face your demons in silence. No venting, no whining. Just reflection, solutions, execution. You track your results, not your feelings. Did you do the work? Yes or no, that's it. 10. You never break your word to yourself. This is the core. This is everything. If you say it, you do it. If you don't speak. Discipline makes you unbreakable to others. You ever wonder why Stoic men are intimidating? Because they can't be moved. Insults don't shake them. Rejection doesn't stop them. Failure doesn't break them. They operate on principle, not feeling. That's what you're building now. A version of you so structured that nothing outside of you can control you. You become a fortress, a blade, a force of nature. Not because you're perfect, no, but because you show up every day, especially when no one's watching. Stop feeling your way through life. Start earning it. You've spent too long asking, do I feel like it? Am I motivated today? What if I fail? That's the language of weak men. From now on, your language changes. What does the code demand? What would the strongest version of me do? How can I suffer better than everyone around? Me? You don't wait for readiness, you act, you move, you endure. Discipline isn't sexy, it's not viral, but it's the bedrock of power. Final strike, live by the code, or die by emotion. It ends here. You're either going to keep living like a slave to how you feel, or you're going to rise, like the Stoics did, with cold fire in your chest and a code carved into your soul. No more maybe, no more softness, no more skipping days. You do it, or you shut up, because from this day on, you serve something higher than feeling. You serve something deeper than emotion. You serve the code. You serve your discipline. You serve your future. Now, rise and don't stop. You're still watching her stories, still checking your phone, still hoping for a message, an apology, a sign. You're still holding on, and that's why you're stuck. You say you want peace. You say you want to heal, but your actions scream desperation. Let me make this clear. As long as you stay connected to what broke you, you will never rebuild. This isn't about revenge. This isn't about games. This is war, the no-contact war. And it's not a tactic. It's a mindset. Contact keeps you weak every time you reach out, every time you check in, every time you scroll through old memories. You're reopening the wound. You're pouring salt into your own chest. You're proving you still need them, and that's your weakness. The world sees it. She sees it. You feel it. And it kills your masculinity. A Stoic man doesn't chase closure. He doesn't beg for attention. He doesn't explain himself to ghosts. He cuts. He disappears. He rebuilds in silence. Withdraw into yourself. The rational soul is by nature self-content. Marcus Aurelius. You don't need their apology. You need your power back. Silence is not a tactic. It's self-respect. Most men go no contact to manipulate, to win her back, to make her miss you. Wrong. That's not Stoic. Stoic. No contact is this. I cut what weakens me, because my peace is not negotiable, not to prove something, not to get revenge, not to show her, but because your energy is sacred, and you will no longer leak it into the past. When you go silent, you don't punish them. You free yourself. You stop hoping. You stop checking. You stop explaining. You disappear, not because you're lost, but because you found the path again. The longer you stay connected, the longer you stay broken. Let's be honest, every time you check her page, every time you reread old messages, every time you ask mutual friends what she's doing, you're not healing. You're reopening the story. You're putting yourself in emotional chains. And those chains, they're stopping you from building new habits, regaining self-respect, seeing your worth clearly, moving with masculine power. You think you're being patient. You're being passive. You're waiting for something that will never return the way you need it. Let me remind you, you weren't left by accident. You were freed on purpose. Accept it. Cut it. Reclaim your focus. She is not your destiny. Your code is, you made her your purpose. That was your first mistake. Now you have to unlearn the lies. She wasn't your soulmate. She wasn't your future. She wasn't the only one who could love you. She was a mirror, showing you how far you were from your discipline. You saw her as your light. But real men walk through the dark alone. Now the focus returns to you, your body, your mind, your mission. Because purpose isn't found in another person. Purpose is forged in suffering without reaction, and that's exactly what no contact forces you to do. No contact is a war within. This isn't just about blocking her. This is about facing the ghost in your mind, because even if she's gone, she still lives in your thoughts, still speaks through your doubts, still whispers when you feel weak. No contact isn't a button, it's a battle, against memories, against loneliness, against fantasy. And to win it, you need more than willpower. You need a code. The code of no contact, Stoic version. Follow this with iron discipline. Let no emotion break it. No checking, no lurking, no watching block. Mute, erase. Not to hurt her, but to free your mind. If you wouldn't walk into a fire, don't walk into her feed. No reaching out. Ever, not on birthdays. Not when you miss her. Not when you hear she's sad. Her life is no longer your concern. You are building an empire now. Not checking the ashes. No responding to bait if she texts. If she posts for attention. If she reaches out just to see how you are. Silence. Always silence. The moment you reply, you lose. No explanations, no long goodbyes. You don't owe anyone a speech. You owe yourself peace. Let the silence explain everything. No exceptions. Every excuse to break the code is emotional weakness, in disguise. Your new rule? If it costs your focus, if it weakens your resolve, if it distracts your purpose, it must be cut. This is the death that gives you life. Let her go. Let the pain wash through you. Let the emptiness be your new arena and watch what happens. The fog clears. Your energy returns, your training sharpens, your path becomes real again. Why? Because you finally chose yourself. That's the Stoic path. It doesn't beg. It doesn't bargain. It doesn't chase. It observes. It endures. It executes. And when the time is right, it rises without explanation. She will notice. But you won't care. She will feel your absence. She will wonder. She will reach for the version of you she thought would never walk away. But by the time she looks, you'll be gone. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Because no contact isn't about making her miss you. It's about making you so powerful that you don't even want her anymore. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Marcus Aurelius, it's not right to hold on. It's not true that you need her. It's not true that this pain defines you. What's true is this. You were made for more than heartbreak. You were made for more than reaction. You were made to rebuild in silence, until your silence becomes a kingdom. Let them speak. Let them wonder. You vanish. You work. You return, not for them, but to claim your throne. Final strike. Become untethered, become unstoppable. Cut what weakens you. Cut who delays you. Cut every connection that pulls you from your higher self. Let them say you're cold, let them call you distant, they don't understand. You're not distant, you're focused. You're not heartless, you're disciplined. You're not avoiding them. You're becoming something they no longer deserve to meet. So stay gone, stay silent, and let every second of no contact sharpen your purpose, forge your soul, and birth a man no one will ever play with again. You've disappeared, no more calls, no more posts, no more explanations. You walked away, and now the world is silent. Good, because this is where it begins. This is where the real work starts, where you stop performing for others and start building in silence. You are now in the shadows, and the shadows are sacred. This is the comeback, but not the one they expect. Not loud, not fast, not dramatic. Stoic men rebuild quietly, and when they return, they make the world tremble. Disappear to reconstruct. You've tried fixing your life while staying visible. Did it work? No, because every time you're seen, you perform. Every time you explain, you leak power. Every time you seek validation, you betray your inner work. So now you vanish, not as a victim, not as a broken man, but as a warrior in reconstruction. Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. Marcus Aurelius let them live their noisy, distracted lives. You're on a different path now. A path of silence, of structure, of ruthless self-discipline. Silence is the forge of the Stoic man. Everything real is built in the dark. Steel is forged in fire. Muscle is built in pain. Discipline is sharpened in isolation. And character is carved in silence. When no one is clapping, when no one is watching, when no one believes in you, that's when the new you is born. So stop waiting for applause. Stop posting your healing journey. Stop giving people a front row seat to your transformation. Close the doors, kill the noise, build in the shadows. 3. Comeback isn't personal, it's principle. This comeback isn't about proving them wrong, it's not about showing her what she lost. It's not about silencing the critics, it's about honoring the code. You don't rise to get revenge. You rise because it's who you are now. You rise because staying down would be an insult to the man you're becoming. This is about alignment, not attention. You build in silence because only silence can make you see the flaws in your armor. And only discipline can melt them down and reforge you into something unshakable. This is your blueprint for the dark season. The Stoic comeback happens in phases. Follow this blueprint with military precision. Lock down your routine. Your day is your battlefield now. Wake up early. No snooze. Cold shower. Morning stillness or journaling. Physical training, no matter what. The day doesn't control you. You command it. Cut all comfort. You are not here to be entertained. You are here to rebuild. No mindless scrolling. No alcohol. No porn. No cheap dopamine. No conversations that drain your energy. Make your life boring and brutal, because that's where focus thrives. Sharpen your body. Your body is a reflection of your inner command. Train 6 days a week. Eat clean, not for abs, but for discipline. Track your sleep. Hydrate like it's law. Every rep is an act of self-respect. Every set is a brick in your foundation. Master a craft in private, learn something, build something, refine something. Don't talk about it. Don't show your progress. Let the skill become a weapon, honed in silence. By the time they notice, it's too late. Ruthless self-reflection. Every week ask, where am I weak? Where did I waste time? What triggered emotion over logic? What must I kill off next? You're not healing, you're reconstructing. And reconstruction demands brutal honesty. This is not isolation, this is ascension. People will say you're isolating, that you've changed. that you're different now. Good. Because the man you were, he was distracted, he was emotional, he was reactive. You buried him. This version, he's focused. He's still. He's rising. This isn't loneliness. This is solitude. And solitude is where gods are born. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Marcus Aurelius. Don't seek revenge. Seek transcendence. Become so disciplined, so evolved, so untouchable, that your old life feels like a bad dream you barely remember. Let them play games. Let them chase validation. You chase excellence. Not for attention, but because you are now governed by something higher. Your code, your discipline, your vision. That's what separates Stoic men from the world. They don't rebuild for applause. They rebuild for alignment. Make silence your status symbol. You don't need to explain your absence. Your comeback will explain everything. And when you return, no post, no speech, no look at me. You walk in, calm, powerful, focused, and they'll feel it. In the way you speak less. In the way your eyes don't wander. In the way you own the moment without trying. That's what silence does. It becomes your new status. No chains, no drama, no weakness, just results, just strength, just presence. Your new life starts where the noise ends. This is your season of fire. There will be no hand-holding, no motivation, no one to cheer you on. Perfect, because what's born in fire never fears it again. You've been chasing strength in public. Now earn it in private. You've been trying to look healed. Now become whole in the shadows. You've been waiting to feel ready. Now act like a warrior, whether you feel it or not. Final strike. Build like no one's watching. Return like a storm. You're not coming back to prove something. You're coming back because you've been forged in fire. This isn't a comeback. It's a resurrection. The man who fell, gone. The man who rebuilt in silence, he's coming with thunder in his step and a mind carved in cold, ruthless logic. Let the world hear noise, you. Let them feel your return. Because weak men react. Stoic men rebuild and return as storms. You've walked through fire. You've been torn apart. You've rebuilt in silence. And now, you stand. Not loud, not boastful, but undeniable. You didn't just watch this video. You fought through it. Every word was a mirror. Every chapter was a test, and you didn't click away because something inside you is still alive. That small fire, that ache, that hunger, that's your soul remembering who the hell you were before the world made you soft. This isn't the end. This is initiation. Don't mistake this for motivation. This was a funeral for the man you were, the man who reacted, the man who begged, the man who ran from pain. He's gone now. What stands in his place is a stoic weapon, forged in solitude, sharpened by rejection, powered by cold logic and quiet purpose. You don't need approval anymore. You don't need closure. You don't need to be understood. You are here for one thing: dominion over self. And if that means silence, good. Let them underestimate you. If that means loneliness, good. You train better alone. If that means total discipline over every emotion that used to control you, then welcome to power. The world has not changed. You have. Life will still throw chaos at you. You'll still be betrayed. You'll still feel pain. You'll still want to react. But the difference? Now you know the code. Now you observe. You watch. People fall into their own emotional traps while you move like a ghost, untouchable, unshaken. They scream. You breathe, they chase. You build, they break down. You rise without noise. This isn't arrogance. This is inner command, and that's what Stoicism was always about. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. You don't need the world to change. You change your posture. You change your mindset. You change your reaction. and the world fears you because of it. You're not just a man anymore. You're a strategy, understand, something. You are no longer just a man walking through life. You are a tactical system. Every step is measured, every word is filtered, every reaction is deliberate or eliminated. You are not a slave to impulse. You are not a prisoner of heartbreak. You are not a servant to your past. You are now the weaponized version of everything they said you'd never become. And you say nothing, and because results don't require noise. You don't tell people what you're doing. You do it. The final standards. This is the oath. This is your new baseline, and anything less dies here. Silence is your default. If your words don't serve strategy, peace, or impact, stay silent. No more emotional venting, no more needless talking. Discipline is non-negotiable. No. Motivation. You wake up, train, reflect, and execute because it's required, not because you feel like it. Emotion is acknowledged but never obeyed. Feel the pain, feel the anger, then move forward with logic. Connection is earned. No more begging for love, friendship, or approval. Your energy is sacred. Treat it like gold. Purpose is your only compass. You are not here to please. You are not here to be liked. You are here to build, to lead, to evolve. This path is not for everyone. Let me be clear. Most men will never live like this. They'll watch this video, nod, feel inspired, and go back to distraction, weakness, emotional comfort, but not you, because you made it here, to the end, to the edge, to the beginning of your second life. Now you carry this code forward, quietly, ruthlessly, relentlessly. You don't convert others. You don't prove yourself. You embody the shift, and let the world adjust. The new man you've become, he's quiet, but not empty. He's calm, but not soft. He's kind, but never weak. He's focused, and therefore feared. He does not chase. He attracts through presence. He does not argue. He dominates through execution. He does not react. He observes. He endures. He wins. The fire never dies. You may be tired. You may fall again. You may be tempted to return to comfort, emotion, reactivity. But remember this. The fire inside you doesn't die. You do. The moment you stop acting. The moment you start reacting again. The moment you betray your new code. So guard that fire. Feed it with action. Protect it with silence. Shield it with structure. What comes next? Now you execute. No more information. No more waiting. Your mission. 1 day at a time. 1 rep at a time. 1 cold decision after another. Until the old version of you is unrecognizable, and the man you are today becomes your default setting. Final strike. You are the silent force. There's nothing left to say. You are now the silent force. Not loud, not emotional, not chaotic, just focused, just consistent, just present. Let them wonder. Let them guess. Let them try to figure out how you became this untouchable. You'll never explain it. Because you don't speak power. You are power. You don't react anymore. You observe. You endure. And you win. Welcome to the Stoic path. It's lonely. It's brutal. It's silent. And it will make you invincible.